Good day, what organisation. Today we have a Forgotten Vehicles episode on the I-16 Type 24. I've been meaning to get more of these episodes out, but with just how much I've had recently, obviously, as some of you know, I've had a new job that I've been at for the last month. I've been working a lot of hours, and some things just get pushed out of my mind, unfortunately, and this series is sadly one of them, but I'll make sure to make up for the lack of time by giving you a couple over the next couple of weeks or so. So the I-16 Type 24 is a plane that I really don't see get a lot of love, and I can be brutally honest and say I understand why. And well, to do that, we have to talk about this thing's BR and armament. Now, the 7.62s are not bad guns. That's not my complaint. The fact is, this vehicle sits at the same BR of what the old I-16 Type 27 and 28 used to sit at, which was 2.7. Now that's not a bad thing, because if we go to the actual tech tree, we can see that these are now at 3.3, because these have cannons, and they're overall just a bit more capable in their firepower. So why is this one 2.7 then, if it's got the same armament as the I-16s before it, bar the Type 5? Well, it comes down to this engine, the Shvetsov M63. This engine has 1100 horsepower, and it really makes this thing have a boot up its ass, to put it lightly. And as a result, you can easily get into positions which other I-16s might not be able to keep up with you with. Of course, that does come with a downside, the fact that we're stuck with 7.62, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing, but the problem is we have to get up close and personal. And I'd rather have the hitting power of trading these two guns here for cannons, but that's just me. Whilst I'm not saying Quad 7.62 is terrible, the fact is that we're going to be running into a lot of planes that are armoured, and, well, that's not going to be good for us. But if need be, depending on the map, we can also bring a couple of bombs, which I doubt we're going to use these, or we can bring along some rockets to maybe yeet at a bomber and hope for the best, I guess. But, again, I very much doubt it, because I'll probably be using as much performance out of this plane as I possibly can. Of course, next up in the series is this pile of trash, but so don't expect anything amazing out of this. But let's just say you're going to be getting a few more episodes coming up soon. Because, well, as I said, I've kind of neglected this series and it doesn't deserve that. So, let's get into it and let's get cracking. So, it's one of those vehicles that has potential. The problem is that it's just not as competitive as the cannon arm ones. Now sure, if you get a down tier, that's not a problem. The problem is you have to get that down tier. And getting a down tier is not always a reliable thing to get. But anyway, I'll see you all in the first game. And about 30 seconds after I say that, we get our first match on Operation... Well, I mean, I don't really need to say that, do I? I would say it, but I can't be bothered. In case you haven't noticed by the tone of my voice, I'm very sleepy. I had to cover for someone who was off poorly the other day, and I did a nearly 11-hour shift. I am fucking destroyed by it. But, you know, gotta keep pushing on. I mean, that's just how life goes. I'm not fussed anyway. That is an awful lot of attack aircraft. Well, it's 3.7 because of the 110G4. And as you can tell, this thing's got so much power it wants to rip its own landing gear off. It gets up and goes, this little fella, that's for sure. Obviously, we're not bringing any bombs, we're not bringing any rockets, because I have no reason to. This map is normally pretty generous for ground targets anyway, and the 7.62s can destroy light pillboxes. So, overall, I am not really concerned about that. Anyways, this map is big, and it's going to take a little while for us to get into the match, probably. I will see you all in a couple of seconds. And he's shooting at nothing. Okay. See you in a moment. Well, welcome back. We've just gotten up to altitude, as you can probably tell. And we found a Spitfire, which, well, I don't mind dealing with a Spitfire. Problem is, what's the Spitfire going to do? Because he's not really paying attention to me. I think he's more focused on the 190, which, that might prove to bite you in the arse, my friend. Because I-16 should not be underestimated. Let's see if my aim's on point this morning. Yeah, close enough. Rudder's playing up a little bit, so I'm going to break off. Feels like this I-16 has the same problem as the previous one in the series, where the rudder's a little bit finicky, but that I can deal with. There we go. Didn't want to hit my friendly there, so I had to be careful there. Kill number 1. The engine's only just overheated now. Interesting, because I've been wepping pretty much since I took off from the airfield, which fair enough, it's a cold map, but normally I-16s tend to boil. Okay, next up, Mr. Spitfire. We're not too worried about the P-40. The only thing that's dangerous about a P-40 is its guns, so yeah. Hello, Mr. Spitfire. Thank you. God, there really is a lot of sparks coming off this thing today. That's kill number 2. Spitfire there, he's not a high priority. That P-39 though, definitely is, and I think he's coming towards us. Like I said, I'm not afraid of the P-40, I'm more afraid of the P-39, because that thing has a great combination of stuff. It's fast, it's pretty maneuverable, it won't beat us, but that's not the point. No, you don't. So that coming a mile away, my friend. Now he's going to have to keep his speed up, because he's not, like, P-39's a very good aircraft, but they're not, let's just say they're not going to be maneuvering with an I-16 anytime soon, so him keeping his speed up is his best tactic here. Okay, depending on who sets himself up first will depend on who I go for. Let's go for the Sakine, which is just the S199 with a new name. You don't need to worry about it. That's kill number 3. That's kill number 4. And here comes the P-39. Oh, he's just nicked us a little bit, but that's okay. God, I am sleepy this morning, but even I can aim worth a shit. Unfortunately, as you can probably tell by my team, they are not doing so. I don't really want to take a head on with this guy, but might not have a choice. Got some hits. Got some hits. Rudder. Oh god, we're in the midst of a 4-way dogfight. And unfortunately, well, I say a 4-way, the P-38's not really getting involved here, but that is not my point. I'm going to pitch up for the BF-109. Don't have an angle on him, that's unfortunate. It doesn't really matter who I go for as long as I start knocking down the numbers, because this is going to be quite tough for us. Nice crit, I think I got the engine. I think they're leaving me alone? Do they not realise how dangerous an I-16 is? Well, if they fly like that, that is. That's kill number 5, that's our ace, but we're going to have to work a little bit harder from that. It's just me and a bomb-strapped BF-109 and an IL-2 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This ain't going to be easy. Oh, I nearly panicked then, I thought I was an enemy player. So we do have still quite a bit of ammo left. The problem is that these are 7.62 Shakars. They burn through ammo like a hot knife through butter. I'm not too concerned about the Ju-88, but the back gunners on that thing I am. The front gun I don't give a shit about, but it's the rear guns that I'm more afraid of. more afraid of that P-51, who appears to be trying to turn fight us. But here comes the P-40, who I mentioned earlier about his guns. And that's a coolant leak, so that should hopefully impact him a little bit more. And here comes the J-88 again, but at least this guy's turn fighting us. P-40 swinging it back around. Oh, here's my teammate to finally help. But here comes the P-40, so we're probably dead here. I need to retract the flaps first. Can I reverse the P-40? No, I cannot, because the P-51 is now on our tail. Okay. P-40 is coming back round, and he's going to ram us. Sure, I don't care. I'll take that. I love how he gets kill credit. I don't even think he damaged me that much, but oh well. Well, given how that match went, I think I'm going to have to do some more work in the next game, that's for sure. I'll see you all in the next match. Well, welcome to match 2. As you can probably tell, most of the enemy team is currently underneath me, which is beneficial for me. We're on Golan Heights, so we won't be able to wet the bollocks off this thing, but, well, you should be accustomed to that by now, with hot maps, but that's all fine and dandy. I'm not too worried about that Fokker Wolf. He appears to be diving into the swarm, so I'm going to go for this F4U Corsair. That was an interesting match last game, though. I mean, certainly got the old adrenaline going, but there's only so much you can do when you got a team like that. Nice crit. My aim was a bit shit there, I must admit. I turned better than you, mate. There's no witty or sarcastic remarks there. I just turned better than you. Not at high speed, because you actually pulled better than me at high speed, but there's a reason why I put the flaps down briefly there, just to slow it down. Because I turned better than you. Yeah, so far our team is doing pretty okay, and plus the enemy team is also crashing, which also helps out a little bit. I'm going to go for this P-40F. I'm not too afraid of a P-40, as I said in the last game. It's literally just the guns I'm afraid of. The performance is good, but not outstanding in terms of P-40s. Let's see if I can get him to maneuver. That'll certainly get his attention. And it did. A little bit too little lead there. That's fine. I think he's blacked out, the poor sod. Slowly buzzsawing him. This is the problem with 7.62 is if I was in a Canon I-16, he'd have been dead a long time ago, but unfortunately, we are not in a Canon I-16, we are in a 7.62 I-16, so some things you just have to live with, unfortunately. What the fuck is shooting about? It's a Werble. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with that, because I don't really want to get shredded by a friggin' Whirlwind. I have enough of that to deal with in Ground RB, because the second you kill anyone in a German tank in a plane, they always spawn in Whirlwinds, because, yes. There's no, again, sarcasm or witty remarks. That's just how it is. People just spawn in Whirlwinds because they must get a revenge kill, because reasons. Just bury that turret in 7.62 fire. I'll do the same to the other one now, because that's the best way to deal with these AI Whirlwinds, because they don't normally stick their guns all the way up, so it's pretty useful to just buzzsaw the turret entirely like that, and then all you have to do is make another pass and kill the last turret crew member, and then job done. You don't have to worry about a Whirlwind. Great landing by me. I'll better judge of that, matey. So there goes one. But obviously the machine guns on the Panzers will still be a slight threat. Not amazing threat, but it's still a threat. Because obviously I-16s have vulnerable engines. That was unfortunate. The gunner's optic absorbed that. No, don't focus on the trucks. Focus on the anti-aircraft first. You'd think having a Porkies would teach him some intelligence, but apparently not. Now we can focus on the trucks, which, I mean, they matter to the mission objective, but that's not the point. And looks like the team's just going for it. I think the last guy's on 111. Oh no, it's a PVD-1. Guys, you do know you've left a Helldiver alive, and last I checked, Helldivers don't like it when you leave them alive, because they will come back and bite you. So, yeah. There we go, he's dealt with it. But now the P-51, who's sat with his thumb up his ass the entire game, is coming in for a play. And he's making a proper meal out of those attack runs on the Yak-9 there. Have you noticed, by the way, the AA is not shooting at the Yak-9, it's shooting at me. Gotta love that. First Harry gives me his talismans, now he's slipping $5 under the table so I get shot by AA. What do you think I'm doing? It's called climbing so I can have an energy advantage. Well, potential energy. In the long run, the P-51 will easily trounce this thing in terms of energy, but that's not the point. He's probably just going to do donuts of his bloody airfield anyway, so there's not a lot I can really do here. I mean, what I could do is I could go down and make sure that P-63 doesn't get repaired or whatever. But that will mean the P-51 will have an energy advantage. But to make sure one less player isn't in the game, I'm willing to take that risk. There we go. So now he's completely out the game. So now he has only himself left.
Let's keep the pressure on.
And he's got to fight a C-202D, which is a pretty good rival in this situation. Obviously the P-51 does have its advantages, but you know, it's not the hugest thing. It's obviously got a speed advantage, but the 202 has the handling. But if the P-51C is a good handling plane, but it's not as good as the C-202. In some areas, not all. I don't know what the 202 is doing though. And I think the P-51's just going to try and run to extend the match, which is just boring. But unfortunately, when you have someone who just runs around near their airfield all the time and can only get kills if they are 4 kilometers above people, yeah. Do I need to say any more? Saw that coming a mile away, kiddo. You need to try some new tricks. No, not a good angle there for a shot. And obviously in the long run, I'm never going to catch this guy. So I'm hoping the 202 can do some damage. Doesn't look like he's doing any damage. And have you noticed what the P-51 was beelining to? The anti-aircraft guns, because once again we're dealing with a guy who wants to camp his airfield, but the AA's been switched off on this map it seems. Which is good for me. See, this is why I perfectly agree with people who say, oh, AA needs to be nerfed and all that, because it does, but switching it off like this isn't necessary. Like, in this situation, yes, switch it off. There should be a timer, because he's hanging around his airfield. He should have to do something here. I'm probably just going to take the head on, just for the sake of it. Just get this match over and done with, because I'm bored of this guy. Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. You've now got no engine. Or at least a very knackered one. But I've only got 97 bullets. Just gonna let the team know I nailed his engine. Would help if I could type this morning. His aim was worse than mine. Like, there's no sugarcoating. But I've only got 97 bullets, so we have to be careful here. Eventually we will bomb them to death. That's not the plan, mate. Oh, now the AA's starting to do some work. Yeah, what do you think I'm doing, mate? Might have to ram him at this rate. Yep, we're gonna have to ram him. Got him. Serves him right. Piece of shit. Try to fucking camp your way to a victory. And that's game. Who needs machine guns when you got a propeller? He deserved that just for trying to do donuts with his fucking airfield. Hate players like that. But yeah, that pretty much just shows, and there's the defeat for the previous match. That just shows exactly what an I-16 Type 24 can do. But obviously, had some of those players played a little bit smarter, we wouldn't have been able to get away with that. And plus the PVD-1, I pretty much got his engine. But of course, with how fast these guns fire, yeah, and with the questionable damage output of guns these days, we had to resort to the old-fashioned ram. But hey, we stopped a runway camper, so I don't really care. But of course, next up in the series will be this sack of crap, because the only time I've ever used this thing since 2016 or something like that was when I had to respade this thing for the EFS. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to this one, but this is the next one in the series. Anyway, I'll leave you all to it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the I-16 Type 24 in action, and I will see you all on the next one.